Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk about what feminine energy is and why you desire more and want more and how that is an amazing thing. So if you're interested in a video like that, please keep watching. So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as you can tell, we are in my bedroom. We're having work done on the house, and so it is very noisy downstairs, everywhere actually, and you probably can still hear it even here. We're getting our deck redone, so it's a great thing, but it's also like really hard to film and stuff like that. But I had my previous video, we were talking about what a proposal is and keeping your options open and how that is a reflection. Desiring more, having more options is feminine energy. That's what feminine energy is. Like, that's why we desire so much. Like, we are constantly wanting to go to the next level. And so I was thinking about the last video I did, and I set it up to why rotational dating and having a pool of suitors, and why that's important when it comes to navigating with feminine energy, navigating the world with feminine energy. And I think I did a pretty good job at explaining why. But now I want to talk about perhaps the reason why it is hard for you to do it. Okay. So I said in that video, I talk from experience. I talk about why it's important to consider this and how engagement and all of that stuff works, and why even consider having a pool of suitors and a dating pool and that kind of thing. I think it's easy to fall into the trap of wanting to attach yourself to one man. And as a feminine energy being, it is natural for us to desire security and safety, even if it's a false sense of security and safety. And that, my friends, is the problem with attaching yourself to one man. It's a false sense of security and safety. And that's why it might seem hard for a lot of us to keep our options open and make the best decision for our lives based on our goals and the vision for our life when it comes to dating, right? I think that's important to consider, because then, and like in that video I said, you will find yourself in a cycle of attaching yourself and playing wife and having a false sense of security and safety to one man, only to find that it's not leading you to what you desire in the end, which is marriage. Now we're talking about marriage, right? Marriage and commitment. And so you'll find yourself in cycle after cycle. And then, time is of the essence. Time is important when it comes to wanting a family and stuff like that. And I say this from experience because I think this is an important conversation for women to start having, is making good decisions. Because starting a family, commingling funds and finances, building a home is a big decision. This is not something like, oh, I felt the sparks. That, honestly, that is fleeting. It is a huge decision to make for your life, and that's why it's important to make the best one and have a dating pool to choose to make the best decision for your life, right? This goes beyond, this is not like some decision like, am I going to have a pumpkin latte today or something else? This is a huge decision, especially if you plan on starting a family. Like, we want to make good, sound decisions, and having a dating pool and having options is the way to do it. And, you know, and I think that a lot of people have a hard time with this idea of having a dating pool or rotational dating, and they just want to attach themselves to one man, is because it does provide a sense of safety and security, even though it's a false one. It is not real. Because if it was, he would have gave you a ring. Like, this is my intention. Like I said in that video, this is my intention for us, is to get married one day. That's why it's so important for us to start having these conversations, because not only, you know, are you attaching yourself to one man, you're not, one, making the best decision for your life. Like, this is a life-changing decision. You're not making the best decision for your life, but you're also putting yourself in a situation where you can continue, and I said this in that last video too, pile on trauma, you know, a broken heart, baggage, and these things. And that's not what we want, because though you can heal, we don't want to have to go through the cycles of healing and, you know, having to go, I just broke up, now I got to go through this healing thing and all this stuff and going through the cycle again. Like, avoid it. Avoid it. It's so important when you have these conversations, you lay it out and you look at it for what it is, right? And I say this from experience, especially because, you know, I entered the dating pool, and so in the beginning, I did attach myself to one person. And when that didn't work out, I realized, I woke up and I said, if I do this cycle of, well, now I gotta, you know, get back out there and all this kind of stuff, then my goal of getting married is going to be so far out. Like, really, it's going to be so far out. And who wants to do you want to put yourself through that for a false sense of safety and security? Because it's not real. Because if he had intentions to marry you, and he had intentions to marry you, he would propose. And again, that's why I made that video. A proposal for marriage means we intend to date and do this thing for us to get married one day. Doesn't mean you're going to get married, but that's your intention. And so when you lead your life and you're leading this relationship with intention, then you're asking the right questions, you're looking for the right things, you're vetting properly, right? You're not just doing this thing all willy-nilly. That's why it's important. I really want to stress that and share this in this video, is that oftentimes people are like hesitant about, you know, having a dating pool of potentials, rotational dating and stuff like that. And I get it because it does provide, oh, like, I'm safe, and because a relationship feels safe and it feels secure, but it's not real. It's not real. And so you have to look at it. What is your goal? Do you want to be married? Do you want to have a family? Do you want to build something with somebody else? And these kind of things. You got to look at what is it that you truly desire for your life. And so I wanted to share that and actually kind of break down why oftentimes people reject the idea of rotational dating. They reject the idea of having a pool of potentials. It's because they desire that safety and security now. And also, on top of that, when you are dating like that, you're rotational dating, you have a pool of potentials, it requires you, now this is the thing, it requires you to regulate your emotions. It requires you to regulate your feminine energy, right? And be in control of your emotions. It's just an easier thing to attach yourself and say, well, this is safe, this feels good to me, even though it's false. I don't have to regulate my emotions in, dating other people. Now, I don't mean that you're being intimate with people, all these people. I mean, you are dating and getting to know people and seeing who, if your values align, if your goals align, do you want the same things in life? Could this lead to marriage? These kind of things. You have to be more intentional and navigate your life with more intention. But in navigating your life with more intention, it does require you to be in control of you. Regulate your emotions, regulate your feminine energy, be in control to be intentional in your life. And that's where I feel like a lot of us we miss the mark with that. We miss the mark because it's easier it's easier to just say, okay, this feels safe, even though it might be a false sense of safety. This feels safe, so I'm going to go here. Instead of like, okay, I'm going to regulate my emotions, I'm going to regulate who I am and navigate and be intentional with my life and get what it is exactly that I want. So I want to share that, and I think it's important for, like, again, I say this. These are things that we should have conversations with. I'm starting to have these conversations even with my own daughter. This is not a light decision. This is not like I'm going to have a pumpkin latte today. This is like real. Because again, having gone through being married and having kids together and stuff like that, and seeing what separation and divorce and how that can play and how it affected my children, it is a huge decision. I'm not saying that you can't co-parent and navigate divorce and separation friendly and things like that, but it does have implications. It does, and that's why you want to make the best decision. It might, like, we can navigate it in the best interest of our children, in the best interest of everyone. I will tell you, it is still hard. It is hard because it feels like a loss. It feels like a failure. I know how that feels, and I don't want anyone to feel that way. And you have to go into it with the best intentions. Will you get it right? Who knows? You know what I mean? It's just, but were you intentional, and did you make the best decision with the knowledge and the things you knew at that time in which you made the decision? Okay, that's what this is about, is making good, sound decisions for your life, vetting people, for your life. This is a huge decision. Are they financially sound? Are they going to F up your finances? Are they going to be a good father? All of these things that we want to consider. And when you're intentional, you are looking at these things. Okay? It's like you go into a house and you have intentions on buying the house. You are looking at everything. You're looking at the potential of the house. You're looking at what you could do in the future with the house. You're looking at the window seals, the windows and everything, the deck. Okay, you're looking at the deck and all of these things. You are very intentional with your time and going through the house. Now, if you're just visiting someone in their house and you're just going to visit, you're not looking at these things. If you're not like, oh, I don't intend on buying this house. You're not looking, you're just like, if you're just going there for fun, you're not looking at these little things. So that's why it's important to be intentional. It's I think we've gotten to a point, it's like, well, did we have fun on the date? Yeah. Do we have fun together? Yeah. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make good for a marriage. Okay. You gotta go deeper. You gotta go deeper. And so that's why I say these things. I want to share from experience. I've gone through this stuff, and I think it's important that we start having these conversations. It's super important. So I just wanted to share that. I hope the noise didn't bother you guys too much. Hopefully things will get back to normal. I don't know how long it's going to take, to be honest. I don't know. I'm over it though. But it's such a blessing that it's a blessing though. It truly is. Anyways, you guys, that's all for this video. Oh, we are having Manifesting Made Basic, the workshop, happening October 20th. If you're interested in that, check out the link below. I'll leave a link for that as well. Impact You, the podcast, check it out. Super dope. I love doing that podcast and connecting with people and hearing their transformative stories. And how they were able to transform their lives. So if you're interested in hearing those kind of stories, I will leave the link below for that as well. Anyways, you guys, that's all for this video. I really wanted to share. I think, again, super important we start having these conversations. And there's so much power in our stories when we share them, because then we also know that we're not alone in this. And I actually had had lunch with my girlfriend yesterday, and we talked about these exact things, because she actually, without even her knowing it, introduced me to feminine energy. And we talk about these things and how important it is, especially if you want certain things in your life. And so it was such a life-giving conversation we had yesterday. And so I'm starting to have more conversations with the women in my life about these kind of things. And it's super powerful when you share, because you're like, oh, I thought I was alone in that. And you realize that you truly weren't. So anyways, guys, that's all. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and I will check you guys in the next video. Peace.